In each home, there are hidden corners in which time seems to stand still. It's in these forgotten areas that we from time to time stumble upon secrets and techniques long buried. For Lila, a young lady in her late 20s with an insatiable curiosity, the dusty attic of her own family home turned into a treasure trove waiting to be explored. As she navigated through the clutter of old packing containers and antiques, her eyes struck the gleam of an antique, leather-based bound diary in part obscured via a diminished duvet. Lila lightly disregarded the dirt and collected the diary, her arms tracing the ornate layout on its cover. "What's this?" she murmured to herself as she carefully opened the diary. The pages were yellowed with age, full of fashionable, handwritten notes. The first access caught her eye. August 15, 1932, the day my international changed for all time. Lila's curiosity was piqued. She settled into a vintage timber chair and commenced to read, every access revealing a new facet of the diary's enigmatic author, Eliza Hartley. The diary chronicled a chain of mysterious disappearances in Eliza's town, cryptic notes approximately a hidden treasure, and coded messages that hinted at a bigger, greater sinister plot. As she delved deeper into the diary, Lila became transported to the 1930s. The display transitioned to a sepia-tone scene, depicting a young Eliza in her modest domestic, wearing vintage apparel. The surroundings turned into worrying as Eliza penned her thoughts. "I'm penning this to preserve a report of what's happening. Things are not as they seem, and I worry I might not have plenty time left." Eliza's handwriting trembled as she described a chain of unsettling occasions. There were whispers of mystery conferences, shadowy figures, and an underground community manipulating the metropolis's affairs. With a feel of dread, she hid the diary in a mystery compartment underneath a floorboard, her face aggregate of worry and clear up. Returning to the present, Lila's fascination with the diary grew. The entries described a metropolis gripped by way of worry and suspicion, wherein even the most mundane activities had been tinged with uncertainty. Eliza had been a decided young girl, looking to piece together a puzzle that threatened to unravel the cloth of her community. Lila's research led her to diverse locations around the city, following the diary's clues. Each prevent discovered more approximately Eliza's lifestyles and the events that had transpired. At the neighborhood library, Lila pored over vintage newspapers and city information, her eyes widening as she exposed a clipping approximately a scandal related to a prominent nearby politician from the 1930s. Eliza's diary had hinted at a conspiracy, but Lila was stunned to discover that the baby kisser in question was a well-known figure with a recognition for integrity. The diary defined how Eliza had exposed evidence of the flesh presser's involvement in unlawful activities, which includes bribery and corruption, which had been hid to guard his public image. Determined to discover the whole fact, Lila reached out to nearby historians and longtime residents. Her inquiries led her to Mr. Thompson, an elderly man who were a child all through the 1930s and changed into now a reputable member of the network. She organized to meet him at an old-fashioned cafe that had been a nearby fixture for decades. "Mr. Thompson," Lila commenced, her voice regular but full of anticipation, "I've discovered something in Eliza's diary. It's approximately the flesh presser and what truly befell. Can you give an explanation for this, Mr.?" Thompson hesitated, his face reflecting a combination of guilt and sorrow. He took a deep breath earlier than responding. Eliza became a courageous female. She exposed the fact about the baby kisser's corruption, however her revelations placed her in grave chance. To defend the powerful humans involved and maintain the town's balance, Eliza was compelled to disappear. Her silence became sold with the promise of protection for the ones she exposed. The weight of Mr. Thompson's words hung heavily inside the air. Lila's coronary heart raced as she realized the whole volume of the cover-up. Eliza had paid a steep charge for her integrity, and the metropolis had sacrificed its moral compass to maintain a facade of propriety. Returning to the attic, Lila became driven by means of an experience of responsibility to honor Eliza's legacy. She meticulously searched the attic for added clues, hoping to find extra approximately Eliza's final days. Her efforts paid off when she determined the name of the game compartment underneath the floorboard in which Eliza had hidden extra files. Inside had been letters, photographs, and unique money owed of the corruption Eliza had exposed. Among the files was a letter addressed to Lila's extraordinary grandmother, a chum of Eliza's who had been noted inside the diary. The letter expressed Eliza's depression and wish that one day, a person could find the fact and repair her name. It became clear that Eliza had trusted her pal to hold on her fight for justice. With the newly found evidence, Lila decided to post her findings. She labored tirelessly to piece collectively Eliza's tale, making sure that each detail became correct and every injustice highlighted. Her efforts culminated in a compelling article that turned into posted in several nearby and countrywide newspapers, drawing extensive interest. The article brought renewed interest in Eliza's tale and spurred in research into the ancient corruption. The baby kisser's descendants, faced with plain evidence, supplied apologies and repayment to those laid low with the corruption. The metropolis came to terms with its beyond, and Eliza's bravery became diagnosed and celebrated. In a heartwarming gesture, Lila became invited to a ceremony in which a new exhibit devoted to Eliza Hartley became unveiled on the local museum. The show-off protected the diary, letters, snapshots, and a plaque that examined Eliza Hartley, a beacon of truth. The museum's curator, a descendant of one of Eliza's supporters, praised Lila for her dedication in bringing Eliza's story to light. Standing in the front of the showcase, Lila felt a profound experience of achievement. She had not most effective honored Eliza's reminiscence, however had additionally contributed to the healing of a community. The final scene became poignant as Lila gazed on the plaque, reflecting on the adventure she had undertaken. Sometimes, secrets remain hidden for years, looking ahead to someone with the braveness to unearth them, the narrator's voice-over mused. Eliza's story became one in all bravery, and thanks to Lila, the truth has ultimately come to mild. The museum's visitors, captivated through the tale of Eliza Hartley, well known to show off with a newfound appreciation for the sacrifices made inside the pursuit of justice. The reality, as soon as hidden in the shadows, had emerged into the mild, inspiring future generations to are seeking for and uphold integrity. As the camera panned out, showing the museum bustling with visitors and the show-offs show shining underneath tender lighting fixtures, the narrator concluded, "Every secret uncovered is a step closer to information the beyond." And now and again, the fact, as soon as revealed, can inspire and enlighten generations to return.